Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have another draw preview and prediction video, and today we're going into the ATP Mexican Open, the ATP 500 tournament that is in Acapulco. And what a tournament we have, because there's some real fire first round matchups, if I'm being honest, in this tournament, and there's some great players as well in the roster. So we're going to get into it as always, go through every single match. I'll pick my winner, we'll work our way through the draw, and eventually I'll give you guys my predicted champion. The reigning champion is actually Alex de Minaur, who's not playing this tournament. So we will have I don't know if we'll have a new champion, but we'll have a champion who wasn't the same as last year. So we won't have someone who's winning the tournament back-to-back anyways. The number one seed is Alexander Zverev, and he plays Matteo Arnaldi in the first round. This is a really tough first round for Zverev. And look, I mean, he was upset by Comisano on the clay last week or so. Arnaldi has just come off playing some really good tennis in the Middle East. And he took a set off Carlos Alcaraz, looked really good level-wise throughout that match, at least for the most part anyway. So this could be a potential upset. I'm being honest. It could be a potential upset. They've never played before as well. So I think that's actually in favor of Arnaldi as well, because it just means that Zverev hasn't seen his game before. Zverev's game, I think, is quite... When I say standard, I mean the way that he plays is... There's nothing really about Sasha's game that is particularly out there, eccentric, different to what you'd normally see on tour. He just does the simple things very well, which is an incredible attribute to have, but it's not as if you're playing someone who plays, like Rafa Nadal with abnormal topspin, or a Mannarino hits the ball abnormally flat. For example, he is the archetypal type player in style. I'm actually going to go pretty left field my first pick here, and I'm going to go for the upset with Matteo Arnaldi. I just have a feeling that Zverev's coming off the clay. He's just had this very mini clay court swing, and then now he's going to play Acapulco. Then, of course, he's going to play Indian Wells, Miami, etc. So he's transitioning back to hardcore, and given the upset against Comisano as well, actually, that's a good thing in the sense that he's been able to practice more on hardcore, but I think it also proves that he's susceptible at the moment to losing to these lower-ranked players. He's obviously looking a little bit to find some of his best form after a disappointing Australian Open when he lost in the final. I say disappointing because he would have been disappointed, of course, to lose his third straight Grand Slam final and not to get over the line. So yeah, I'm going with Arnaldi to get the win, which is a big call. I'm going to go for Leonard Tien to beat Cameron Norrie, battle of the lefties. Outmiring Kecmanovic. I'm going to go Kecmanovic for that one. Kecmanovic won a title, of course, relatively recently, beating Fokina in the final. Jakub Mensik and Thomas Machac. I mean, this is a fantastic match. Two super talented Czech players. I mean, Mensik's big serving, pretty good mover for someone that tall, explosive. But talking of explosive, there's the pocket rocket, which is Thomas Machac. I mean, he seems to have a bit of everything. Incredible returner, great athleticism, big booming ground strokes off the ground on backhand and forehand, great touch and feel, good variety in his game. He seems to have the type of game that should put him in really good stead longer term in his whole career. And I would be surprised, because I think he seems very high, if he doesn't make the top 5 in his career at any point. I think that he's that good. And I do think he does potentially have Grand Slam potential. Jakub Mensik's actually even younger than Thomas Machac. I think he probably does too, but especially Machac in terms of the level that I've seen from him. He is susceptible to big dips, even in form and in concentration, and that's something to work on, I'm sure. But I'm going to go with Machac to get the win. Runa to beat Cabas Bayena, and Nakashima to beat Bonzi, I'm going to go with. Hijikata Goffin. Goffin. Kaboli Shelton's a really good first round match as well, if I'm being honest. It's a tough matchup for Shelton, who's a seed. Kaboli's very, very solid. I'll go for Shelton, but there's a big question mark on that one. Kaboli's extremely well rounded. Shapovalov and Basavaredi, qualifier, who took a set off Novak Djokovic, of course, at the Australian Open. Really, really solid player. Is Shapovalov going to have too much firepower? He had a fantastic tournament a few weeks back in Dallas, and look, I mean, if he brings that form, I think it's going to be very tough for the American. But I'm actually going to go with Basavaredi to get the win and frustrate Shapovalov. And I have a feeling that he may just cool off for a little period here and not get so many wins before he then ramps up again, Shapovalov. And it would be in keeping with how his career has gone so far in terms of pattern. Alex Michelsen versus Abu. We'll go with Michelsen. Giron to beat Walton. And then we have Diallo and Tommy Paul. I think Tommy Paul should get through that. TFO to beat Alexander Muller, who's just come off the clay as well. Fokina versus Bellucci, lucky loser. Ooh, but Fokina's been playing some good tennis. Bellucci's a talented Italian, though. I'll go for Fokina. And then Vukic to beat wildcard Mendez and Ruud to beat Ridonek. Arnaldi and Lernetien. I'm going to come back to that one. Mahac to beat Kekmanovic for me. Runa did lose to Nakashima in the US Open. It's not an easy matchup for him on paper, but I'll go for Runa. Shelton to beat Goffin. Michelsen to beat Basavaredi. Tommy Paul to beat Giron. I'm going to go for Fokina to beat TFO. I think he's playing better tennis at the moment. Ruud to beat Vukic. And then Lernetien or Matteo Arnaldi to get through that. So quarterfinals of Arnaldi and Mahac. I mean, that's a really good matchup. I'm going to go with Mahac, though. Runa Shelton, really good matchup. Surely Runa's going to come good at some point this season, relatively soon. We'll go Tommy Paul over Michelsen. Yeah. And Fokina over Ruud. No, I think Ruud will get the better of Fokina, actually. And then I'm going to go with Shelton to beat Runa. I'll go for Runa to beat Shelton. So that gives us semi-finals of Thomas Mahac, Holger Rune, and then Tommy Paul and Casper Ruud. What's the head-to-head between these two? That's what we need to know, isn't it? Excuse me. So Thomas Mahac and Holger Rune. They've never played. Okay, that's not helpful. Tommy Paul and Casper Ruud. They have played, I'm pretty sure. Yes, they have 4-2 in favour of Ruud. Last time they played, though, was at Indian Wells last year. Tommy Paul won in 3 sets, and then Casper Ruud won all their matches between 2023 and 2020. Tommy Paul beat him in Washington in 2017. We'll go for Tommy Paul to get the win, and Mahac to beat Ruud in the semis. So a final of Thomas Mahac versus Tommy Paul. I'm actually going to go with Thomas Mahac to win this 500 tournament. Let me know in the comment section below who you picked and why. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. We'll see you on the next video.